Yo, Diggity Dogs, it's me, AJ Beast, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about all of the wrestlers who unfortunately got released by WWE. I hate when it happens, I hate when it's the season, but unfortunately it is. Unfortunately, that's how WWE works, and there are a lot of names here that I'm very upset are leaving WWE, and I hope nothing but the best for them. But first, if you enjoy wrestling content and want to talk more wrestling content, then I am your guy. Several other people may also be your guy, but I think it's always good to branch out and see everyone's opinions because some opinions could be different. But if you are interested in my stuff or agree with me today, then leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new to this channel. I have decided that I'm going to make weekly Wednesday uploads talking about pretty much everything, and then I'll make shorts for, the night of or the night after Raw and SmackDown. So that's going to be my schedule going forward. But yes, like I said, leave a like if you like this video. If you love talking about wrestling, love theorizing about wrestling, I am very intrigued to see what you guys have to say about these releases. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. But with that, let's get on to the first person, like literally top of this list. And that's Kairi Sane. Now, Kairi Sane was in the middle of a storyline pretty much, but not a storyline that really concerned her specifically. It definitely seemed like it was primarily Asuka versus Io. But even then, it did seem like WWE was planning on having Io turn face on Asuka and, maybe side with Io and be a tag team there. I don't see why they would do that. To be honest, if I'm being completely honest with how I feel and what I wanted for Kairi, I really wanted to see her in the singles intercontinental division for the women. I feel like she would have been really good in that division. Have Asuka and Io focus on the main, literally have it so where Kairi portrays Asuka and pretty much she leaves the feud in general and makes it so Io and Asuka can duke it out by themselves. That's how I would have done it. But clearly, WWE might have thought it was just easier to sweep her away instead of having her finish a storyline at least. So it's a bummer that happened. I really hope. It's Kairi Sane. She's most likely going to be doing something amazing. And now we're going to talk about Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Zelina has been with WWE for the longest time. Aleister just kind of got back. And honestly, I'm very upset about this because, yeah, he wasn't necessarily doing anything, but he was prominent in kind of making Randy into the heel that he became. I would have loved to see him be the person that he was calling. Would it have made sense in the storyline? No. But I think a lot of people would be more happy with Aleister Black being the person that Randy was on the phone with than Pat McAfee. So, yeah, I just feel like they could have done so much more with Aleister Black. I feel like he could have been a dominating threat to the US title division. And even if you couldn't figure that out, put him on Raw. Bro, imagine if he imagine if Aleister Black beat Penta for the Intercontinental title. That match itself would have been amazing. His first full feud, Penta against Aleister Black, and maybe Aleister doesn't win, but dude, if that match happened, it would have been so good. Would have been so good. But unfortunately, we will never get to see that match, at least not now, knowing that Aleister Black has been released once again in WWE. And what makes me mad about this specifically is that this is not the first time he was released by WWE. And the first time was a very, very weird because it was like he had vignettes on this character that he was working on, and it was really interesting. Like, I was genuinely so excited to see what Alistair had to offer when it came to this character. But then he had his first appearance on SmackDown, and then like a couple days later, he got released. So I was just sitting there like, what was the freaking point of those vignettes? What was the point of hyping him up only for him to not even be in WWE after like a couple of weeks with this gimmick? He had one IRL appearance on WWE with this gimmick, and it was gone immediately. But yeah, and then Zelina kind of always felt like she was rolling around in different spots with LWO, you know, facing off in the US title division, and then kind of just being Aleister Black's manager, which I am not mad at them pairing up together, but I would like her to do something. I mean, it was the same thing with Scarlett. I knew Scarlett was a very good in-ring wrestler, but she always was just the manager to Karrion Kross, which, listen, I'm completely fine with, but I just feel like these manager wrestlers should wrestle. Like, at least a little bit more. But yeah, that's my thoughts about Aleister Black and Zelina Vega gone. I love those two, and I know they're going to do great stuff no matter where they go. Even if Zelina just wants to do, like, I think she has a podcast, or did have a podcast, or something like that. She's very much like someone who does a bunch of stuff. She's not just a WWE person, to me at least. So, yeah, I hope they figure it out. I know they will. This next pair, I'm gonna put them all together, is the Wyatt Six, and I am so upset that everyone here is gone. It kind of felt like that MFT and Wyatt Six match was their send-off match, and then like a week later before SmackDown, they get released. So I'm so bummed at the projection of this group. Like, the introduction was the greatest introduction to a faction I have ever seen. They didn't just invade WWE, they terrorized it in one fatal swoop. It looked like a crime scene the first time that they showed up on TV. And I was so excited at that point because it was like, what are they gonna do? Who are they going after first? And then they had like an idea, like a, you portray your family type of stuff, especially when you had like the Bloodline and the Judgment Day treating themselves like a family, like having all these groups and like, yeah. And then initially when the I keep saying NFTs, it's MFTs, feuded with them, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm very excited. The faction versus faction. But it kind of lasted way too long. The feud, I don't even remember how long I don't even know when it started, because it feels like it's been like a year that they've been feuding, and it's just like, I know they're the only two factions on SmackDown, but hear me out, they don't have to fight each other all the time. Like, it annoys the crap out of me that we had a potential great, like, not trying to be the Wyatt family, but even like having something interesting like that. They're paying homage to Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, rest in peace to both men. And it felt almost like an emotional like pairing of groups of people mourning and paying tribute to one of the most creative minds in WWE of all time. But ultimately, they just weren't able to capture the essence of the Wyatt family's original form, if that's what they were going for. And I wouldn't want them to, but it definitely felt like a failed experiment. I felt like there could have been so much more to this group. And, you know, and Nikki Cross, like I said with Scarlett and Zelina Vega, her not wrestling made me upset because it's just like, I hate that. I hate when someone has like one female in the group and they don't do anything. Or there's just one person in the group that doesn't do anything that is a wrestler. It's just like, okay, fine then. You know? And like, man, I just hate the fact that this got ruined the way it did. Because ultimately, I feel like a lot of people put blame to how SmackDown's tag team division plummeted to the Wyatt Six, but I don't think it was mainly them. I think it was just overall, it just started to crumble. It stopped being this fun thing where it's like you don't know what tag team's going to face each other next, who's going to be fighting for the gold this time. It just became MFTs versus the Wyatt Six, and that's it for like months on end. And then other tag teams would just be doing stupid segments that didn't matter because the Wyatt Six or the MFTs would have the tag team gold. So who cares about the other tag teams? They're not going to face them. So hopefully they'll find something else to do, because honestly, I think every single person in that group are very creative. Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Nikki Cross, Rowan, and of course Bo Dallas. I have such an emotional attachment to this group, so it breaks my heart to see them leave. So, but yeah, ultimately WWE failed on making them a thing that worked. There's a lot of other people on this. I'm sorry, I don't really have much to say. Other than it's very unfortunate that you guys didn't work out in WWE, whether you were in developmental, NXT, Evolve, whatever the case may be. But I want to just say right now that I hope the best for you guys, and whatever field you end up going in, even if it's AEW, TNA, Japan, wherever, I hope you are successful, and I hope that you show that WWE was wrong about you. We're going to start with Alba Fire, aka Kaylee Ray. Someone who I actually paid attention to back in NXT UK, and she was the top of the top. Gunther got nothing on this girl. I mean, yeah, he had the longer reign, but I mean, Kylie was kind of just the female Gunther in that she dominated the UK division very well. And going into seeing her go from there to NXT was very amazing, because she just felt like a big deal immediately going onto the NXT roster. And, you know, then becoming Alba Fire, tagging with, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. I think I'll pop up who she tagged with in the edits. But anyways, it was very sad to see that she was leaving, but honestly, she was someone that I honestly felt like was bound to leave at some point if they didn't change her character back or just did something different with her. Like, she felt like a waste on TV. No offense. I love Chelsea Green. I love the gimmick. I honestly feel like her gimmick, the Chelsea Green's gimmick as a whole, has kind of gone stale when it came to the main reason why that gimmick worked for the longest time was because she was the women's US champion. And once that leaves, after a little bit, it starts to be like, why are you, what are you exactly? Because you're not women's US champion, that's for sure. But yeah, Alba Fire ended up becoming a goon, which is not what you want to be in WWE. You don't want to be like J&J security, being like pushed around left, right, and center. But yeah, I know she's going to be fantastic wherever she goes, because she was dominant in NXT UK, and I hope nothing but dominance will come. And then we have Zoe Stark. Now, maybe some people don't really care that much about this one, but I really do. I watched around the time that she was in NXT, and I really loved her. I thought she was really cool. I just think she had a different look to her, and like compared to other people in the division. And I would have loved to see her, especially in this type of ecosystem, come back from injury and, end up fighting for the women's intercontinental title. I'm pretty sure she was on Raw last time. But yeah, I would have loved to see that. I thought she could have been something. She maybe not a main eventer, but I think she could have been something at all. And it sucks. It sucks because she's someone I felt like was going to be released at some point, and that's not a feeling I want to feel about a superstar, but unfortunately that's kind of the situation you get put in when you're A, not doing anything on TV, and B, being, I think she was recovering from an injury during this time frame, I think, right now. So, yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot? Apollo Crews got released, which I'm going to say this right now. I'm not saying he should have been released. I'm not saying any one of these people deserve to be released at all. At all. But Apollo Crews, out of all of the people I have mentioned, I don't know how he managed to make it through these budget cuts. I don't know how he's managed to make it when the past few years he has not been on screen at all. And then most recently he's been backstage talking to people in backstage segments. That's it. The second you start putting him back on screen, he's gone. But the several years that he wasn't even on Raw or SmackDown, he's just chilling and catering, bro. But yeah, those are the ones that really got to me for different reasons. Ultimately, there's a lot I imagine would have been released, unfortunately, and a lot of people that just kind of shocked me just because of the positions that they were in, storylines that they were a part of, and just overall just feeling like WWE wasted time of their prime, doing absolutely nothing with them. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. I don't know if you should enjoy it because honestly, talking about this is not my favorite thing because I hate when WWE does this, but it's become a regular thing. So unfortunately, I wait for this moment and highly hope that just no one leaves, like no one gets released. But at the end of the day, if you're not doing anything in WWE, then what's the point of being in there, So I kind of get it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel if you are new. If you made it all the way through, I don't know why you wouldn't subscribe if you made it all the way through. But anyways, with that being said, hope you all have a great day or night, whichever time you're watching this. And with all that being said, yo diggity dogs, AJ Beast is out.